Did you ever get one of those modes with the Milwaukee Brewers that, man, you just scratching and just can't wait, itching for that next game to start? Brewers have a game coming up on Thursday in the afternoon, but man, the way they're playing, the offense, it's so much fun watching them right now. Another win for the Brewers. We'll get to that coming up next here on Locked On Brewers.
You are Locked On Brewers, your daily Milwaukee Brewers podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Boy, the Milwaukee Brewers are just, like I said, it's fun to watch right now when the offense is clicking like it is right now. And it started on Saturday night, and it's just kind of carried over the final two games against Cincinnati and the first two games against Colorado. I mean, the offense is just looking amazing out there. And it's led by the 21-year-old Jackson Chourio. There's some other guys who are getting into the act as well. Some bats who were silent really early in the season are starting to come to life. Good to have you along. Chuck Freeman here on Locked On Brewers, part of Locked On Podcast Network. We are your team every day. This particular edition of Locked On Brewers is brought to you by Monarch Money. Monarch Money, great sponsor here of Locked On Brewers. Take control of your finances. Monarch Money. Use the promo code LOCKEDONMLB at Monarch Money. 50% off your first year with Monarch Money. Brewers pounded out 13 hits, 17 runs. Scored all the runs in 3 innings. 2 5 spots, and then for good measure, they tacked on 7 runs in the 9th inning. It's just amazing with these guys that they can go through slumps like last week where they can't get out of their way offensively, and then they get on an offensive roll, and it's like, wow, what an offense. What an offense. And yeah, the Rockies are terrible. Let's face it, the Rockies are a bad team. But as you know, in baseball, strange things happen. Anybody can beat anybody in baseball. It's about matchups and all that. And the Brewers have had problems winning at Coors Field, but they've clinched their first series win at Coors Field since 2018. Now, the Rockies have been bad since 2018. That's the last time they made the playoffs. And the Rockies have handled the Brewers at Coors Field, but the Brewers have clinched that series and can go for the sweep coming up on Thursday afternoon. Chourio, 5 RBIs. I said this in my instant reaction that I put out earlier in the night after the game. I said, man, maybe I need to put some scratch on Chourio at plus 3,700 to win NL MVP. I mean, this guy, since he went 0 for 5 on opening day, he's got an 11-game hitting streak. 5 RBIs. Once again, another 3-run homer gives his team separation. The big hit Tuesday, the big hit Wednesday, the big hit Sunday to give the team some separation. Unbelievable. Chourio is just amazing, man. Just amazing. 4 home runs on the season. And what's the limit on him? I mean, what's the absolute ceiling? He's better than he was last year, if that was possible. Well, yeah, there was possible. He hit the 270s, 21 home runs. I'm just excited. I never put any pressure on this kid in saying he's got to be an MVP or this or that or whatever. But, geez, the way he just keeps going up there and acting like a guy who's been in the league for 10 years, producing big at-bat after big at-bat. You got to love him. I mean, I don't want to get ahead of myself on that. I did that with Yelich a couple of years ago. But let's let Chourio just be Jackson Chourio and go out there and continue to lead this team. Speaking of Christian Yelich, that home run he hit 465 feet. Saw a quote in the Journal Sentinel that he felt that even at 465 feet and that rare air out at Coors Field, he felt the tape measure, the mileage on that, felt a little cheated on it. He thought it was longer than 465, but still, at this point, who thought Yelich could hit a 465-foot home run, right? I mean, I thought those days were behind him, but he turned on one again, 465, second home run in as many days, and Yelich is he's starting to heat up a little bit. And then there's Will Contreras. Will deposited one going oppo on Thursday night, his second home run in as many days. And he's starting to find it a little bit, turning it around. Coors Field has been the perfect place for him to turn it around and helping to lead this team. And we talked about Bryce Terang on the podcast yesterday. 12-game hitting streak. He's got hit in every one of the Brewers games so far this year. 12-game hitting streak. He's batting .333. He had a little bleeder to left field to get the offense started early in the game on Wednesday night. And every game, the guy is just coming through for this team. Ortiz, we're going to talk about Ortiz a little bit later on. He got on base 5 times, but I know some of you are concerned about that. But the offense is been amazing. Been amazing. Sal Frelick is batting .356. Bryce Terang, he's .327. I think he was batting .333 going into that last at bat, .327. Jackson Chourio, .315. You look at some of these other guys. I mean, Garrett Mitchell, his average .276. He was up to .299 at one point on Wednesday. But then there's a couple of guys you got to look at who are struggling. Joey Ortiz is batting .209. Again, he got on base 5 times on Wednesday night, but still, the left side of the infield is an issue. And I don't want to put a damper on. I don't want to put a damper on this Brewer win, but you know what? We're trying to get further. As I said this last year, we're trying to get further than the first round of the playoffs. That left side of the infield's got to pick it up a little bit. Oliver Dunn hitting .182. Capra Vinny Capra. Is he long for this team? When are they going to call it Monasterio? Ortiz at .209, Dunn at .182, Capra at .130. The offense is being carried by a few people, namely Frelick, Terang, and Chourio, with now Contreras starting to heat it up a little bit, and Yelich as well. But, yeah, got to like the way things are going. Tyler Alexander on the hill. Well, they got him out of there. He pitched into the 4th inning, but he was starting to unravel a little bit, let's face it. And the bullpen, everybody who came out of the bullpen pitched well for Milwaukee. Everybody. And this is just like the previous night. Piguero got the job done. Mears, second night in a row. Jared Koenig again. And then Grant Anderson mops up the final 2 innings. Anytime you can bring in Grant Anderson for 2 innings to mop things up, that's a good thing. In a 17-2 win. He came in when it was actually 10-2. But still, didn't have to use their closer, saved the back end of your bullpen. The guy, Uribe and, of course, McGill. And Tyler Alexander made a start. Would have liked to have a little longer start out of Tyler Alexander, so we didn't have to use so many guys. But I think the bullpen was on red alert. Alexander coming off that, taking a no-hitter into the 6th inning in his last start. And he pitched into the 4th inning. Again, he started to unravel a little bit, but had to use the bullpen. Going to go to Quinn Priester coming up on Thursday for the series sweep. And as I was saying, man, you just can't wait. It's like when the Brewers are playing this good, when they're playing this fun style of baseball like this, when they're moving guys over, they're hitting with some power. 3 home runs again tonight. It's just such a joy to watch. It's a lot more fun than us watching these games, and it's 1-0 in the 7th inning, which is kind of the hallmark of this team the last couple of years. Up by 1, up by 2 runs, maybe down a run in the 7th inning, but putting all the pressure on the pitching staff. We saw that in wins last week against Kansas City. And some of you said, and I said this yesterday, the Brewers are getting fat on bad teams. Well, they did take 2 or 3 from Kansas City last week. And I don't look at Kansas City as a bad team. I don't look at Kansas City, not one of the better teams in the league, but I don't look at them as being a bad team. So the Reds Although the Reds just took 2 or 3, they could have swept San Francisco. They got off to an early lead today and couldn't hold on. But the Brewers are right there in the mix early in the season. As I tell you, I watch the standings every day. But man, it's so fun watching these guys. Couldn't wait to get back here at the mic to talk about this terrific victory, 17-2. How many of you got the Brewers at minus 130 on Wednesday night? I see the Brewers are minus 110 on Thursday with Quinn Priester. Now you got a little worry about Quinn Priester on the hill, obviously. Ryan Feltner is on the hill for the Rockies. We'll get to that, preview that series coming up here in a little bit. Chuck Freeman here on Locked On Brewers. When we come back, I'm going to answer some of your questions. I haven't gone to the mailbag in a few weeks here. I'm going to answer some questions today. I'm going to try to get to some tomorrow as well, because I know some of you guys have been writing me and all that, and I haven't really answered the questions on YouTube. Those who have direct messaged me on Twitter, Chuck Freeman, FREIMUND. I got back to you. I think I got everybody cleared on that. But some of you guys who asked me questions on our YouTube comment section, we'll get to that coming up next. Chuck Freeman here on Locked On Brewers. Locked On Brewers, part of Locked On Podcast Network. We are your team every day. Wonderful Pistachios. Man, are they a great sponsor. And I use Wonderful Pistachios. You know what I do? I grab the yogurt when I get done with my midday workout, and I put the Wonderful Pistachios in that low-fat yogurt, and man, it is good. It is good. It is healthy. It is healthy for you. That's what's number one with me. I always look for something that's healthy because, you know what, I want to stay, you work out, you don't want to throw it all back by eating something bad afterwards. And with Wonderful Pistachios, it's one of the highest protein nuts out there. It's going to keep you full, too. Each 1 ounce serving has 6 grams of protein, giving you over 10% of the daily value. They're packed with fiber, better for you unsaturated fats to keep you feeling fuller longer. So you're not running back and forth to the cooler or wherever you're going to get your food during the day. But if you're snacking at your desk, Wonderful Pistachios is a great way to go. Again, the complete protein, the no shells Wonderful Pistachios for that grab and go. Have them anytime you want. They're there for you. But as I say, I put them in my yogurt and it's all good. Get snacking, get cracking with the snack that packs a protein punch. And of those you guys who work out there, put some of those in some yogurt, low-fat yogurt, and you'll thank me later. Visit wonderfulpistachios.com to learn more, and they'll tell you about everything that's good with them, all the health, packed with fiber, the unsaturated fats, each 1 ounce serving, 6 grams of protein. Wonderful Pistachios, wonderfulpistachios.com. Chuck Freeman here on Locked On Brewers, part of Locked On Podcast Network. We are your team every day. And by the way, thank you everybody for tuning in. Early morning here on a Thursday, late night on the West Coast. Well, Mountain Time Zone. Did not get to the game on Wednesday night. Had to take a flight back and get back. And as you can see, I'm back in the home studio, the comforts of the home studio if you're watching me on YouTube. And by the way, if you're listening us on the on any one of the audio platforms out there, Google, Spotify, Apple, please set your alerts and subscribe on all those channels or wherever you get your download on your audio platform. But please go to YouTube as well. Search Locked On Brewers on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell. That'll alert you every time we drop an episode here on Locked On Brewers. This one is being dropped in the middle of the night. It was a late night out on the in the Colorado Rockies, the beautiful Colorado Rockies. They got snow on the mountaintops there. Nobody at the game. There's nobody at the kind of fight. I went on the Gametime app to check tickets for tonight's game. Man, you had your pick of seats. There's no indoor seating at Rocky, none at all. Because I was looking, it was going to be cool out tonight. I was going to go to the game. What the seating was going to be like, you could sit inside or whatever. There's no indoor seating at Colorado at the Coors Field. A little surprised at that. If there were, I didn't see any that were available on the Gametime app. So, but there were tickets you could get cheap out there, and as you saw on TV, there was hardly anybody at the game. Oh, one more thing about the Rockies. Chris Bryant, former nemesis of the Brewers when he played the Cubs, what has happened to Chris Bryant? I mean, what that he's terrible. Man, this guy was an MVP caliber player for, from 2016 on. And he went out to Colorado, and the guy's hitting 194. He had a double on Thursday night, but my goodness, he's not our problem. And certainly he's not feared at the plate anymore. Chris Bryant used to be one of the better players, more feared players in the league. He went to Colorado, and man, he has been not good. All right, here are some of your questions. Dubs writes, really concerned about the left side of the infield. Good defense, but wow, what a mess at the plate. And he's talking about Dunn, Capra, and Ortiz. Really hoping Durbin is a valuable third base candidate. One small thing about Chourio, 15 Ks. Well, the Ks are going to, 15 Ks, but 5 of those were in one game, the first game of the season. And I hear you about the left side of the infield. And I got a few more comments of people talking about that as well on Twitter. Yeah, the left side is an issue. And it's not we're dousing. It's not like Dubs is dousing this Brewers victory. But we're just trying to get by the first round of the playoffs and be the best team that we can be. And you can never settle for anything. And yeah, in due time, the Brewers are going to have the third base spot especially. I'm not surprised the Brewers are struggling at third base. I've been telling you all off season that was my issue. But still, the Brewers are 7-5. And Ortiz, I think, is going to turn it around. Like I said before, he's hitting 206 or whatever, the 206, 207, I think he was hitting after tonight's game. But he will turn it around. I'm confident with Ortiz. Is he an all-star caliber player? I don't think so. At least that's my early impressions of Ortiz. But he's got some talent. It's just a matter of how much talent does he have? What's the ceiling there with Ortiz? And again, young player, second year, full-time in the league. But over at third base, yeah, that's a major concern with me. Mel says, this is our Brewers. Play a bad series against big money clubs, beat up on the small market teams, survive injuries, and keep running into with Murphy's models. Be relentless. We're going to win close to 90 games, says Mel, and get crushed in the playoffs. Just another standard year of Brewers baseball. At least most of the games will be entertaining to watch. Well, I don't blame you for feeling that way, because it's been that way the last 5 years in the playoffs. You breeze through the regular season, then you run into somebody in the regular season, in the postseason, and it ends usually at home. I'm tired of seeing teams celebrating a playoff victory at AmFam Field against the Brewers. I'm tired of seeing that. That's why I'm talking about the third base spot, improving the third base spot, because we want to stop that from happening. Andrew says, I'm content with being patient with Ortiz at short. His offense has been sluggish, obviously, but his strikeout rate is low. He's putting the ball in play. He needs more time. Yeah, you're right. Young player, give him some time. And I think his offense, I'm not saying the guy's going to hit 300, but he's better than 207. Andy says, pleased to see Uribe pitching with conviction so far. I had my doubts about him in spring training, but he has shut me up for now. You got it, Andy. Uribe, guy throws 100. And he, on Tuesday night, threw that ball away down the first base line while fielding a bunt. Yeah, that was not surprising to see Uribe do that, but he worked out of it. He didn't allow any runs that inning. Harry says, put some major respect for Turang. Oh, I gave him a lot of respect yesterday in every podcast. Turang's my guy. I love watching Turang. Love watching him. I feel good about him every time he comes to the plate. And as Murph always says about Turang, we haven't seen the finished product just yet on Turang. He's been saying that for 2 or 3 years on Turang. Dawn says, the longest home run at County Stadium, 1978, Storm and Gorman Thomas, estimated 500 feet. Well, I don't think when Gorman played the Brewers in the early 80s that they measured home runs, but he could have hit one 500. I mean, Gorman hit some long balls. And this is a response Dawn is talking about. Yesterday on the podcast, I talked about tape measure home. Turang hit, he won 440 feet, 444 to be exact. And I said back in the late 80s when they started measuring these home runs at ball games, the longest home run every year would be right around 440. Turang, the little guy, second base, muscling up at 444. Charles says, Bryce Turang, great year so far, but what could make it even greater? How about being named captain of the infield and starting shortstop for the remainder of the year? Turang will still have some reps at shortstop to win Gold Glove there. And if he wins Platinum, it'll be the first time he wins back-to-back Platinum. Turang isn't out to win Gold Gloves and Platinums. He's just trying to be the best player possible. If he wins an award, he wins an award. But I'm telling you, some of these guys, yeah, it's a bargaining chip down the year for his agent when Turang wants to get a deal, but he's not looking at it, well, I could win a Platinum or a Gold Glove again. He's just going out there and producing, being modest and working on his craft. Guy really works his butt off, both off season and before games. Turang, working on his craft. A lot of these guys with the Brewers are, including Contreras. John says, go, crew, and hope Contreras gets the momentum after his big night tonight, and two big nights in a row for Contreras. All right, I could go on. There's more questions, but I just want to take a couple of them right there. All right, we come back. We'll talk about Thursday's matchup, who the Brewers are facing, and who the Brewers got on the mound. We'll talk about all that coming up next on this edition of Locked On Brewers. Locked On Brewers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. We are your team every day. Monarch Money. Ever check your bank account and wonder where the heck is all your money going? And I know in our house, it goes to eating out too much. Oh, and we just came back from a brief trip to Colorado. And, that never helps. That never helps the budget. But you want to see where all your money goes, whether it's, going out to eat like us or online shopping, entertainment. It's easy to lose track, but Monarch Money comes in, your personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. See where your money's going. It's not just a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center. You track all your accounts, investments, spending in one place, so you can just stop not just managing money, but start building some wealth, which we all want to do. It's going to give you insights on how much money you're spending, let's say on food delivery or going out to eat or what have you. All in one convenience. It's all there for you. You can check your finances all with Monarch Money. And right now, with Monarch Money, if you use that promo code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com, you'll get 50% off your first year. Not a bad deal. It's monarchmoney.com. Use the promo code LOCKEDONMLB. You get half off your first year. So find out where your money's going. Get control of your finances. Start building that wealth like we all want to do. Use the promo code 50% off at monarchmoney.com. Chuck Freeman here on Locked On Brewers. And down the stretch we come here on Locked On Brewers. As you know, I check the standings every day. The Cubs got beat. The Cubs got beat by the Rangers. So the Cubs now have a half a game lead on the Brewers. The Cubs are 9-6. Milwaukee 7-5. I know some of you guys DM me too and said, yeah, you watch the standings every day too. Good. I'm not the only guy out there that just checks the standings all the time. I do set an alert on my phone for Cubs games just to see, the scoring. I follow the Cubs games also. I mean, not that I care about the Cubs. Only reason why I care about the Cubs is obviously because they're competing with the Brewers for winning the NL Central. But I got an alert set on my phone with the Cubs, and it was great to see Texas jump out early and get the lead. They scored one run in the first inning and never looked back, and they beat the Cubs today. So the Cubs are 9-6. Milwaukee 7-5. St. Louis 5-7. St. Louis got beat by Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh and Cincinnati at 5-8. Cincinnati, as I mentioned earlier, blew a chance at getting a 3-game sweep in San Francisco. Blew an early like 5-0 lead in that game, I want to say. All right, the Thursday pitching matchup, 2:10 Central Standard Time in Milwaukee time. As I mentioned, Milwaukee at -110, favorite in this game. Are you kidding me? Milwaukee -110? What am I missing on that? Milwaukee -110. I feel like last year too. The Brewers are always maybe a low favorite or an underdog. -110 against Colorado. Well, I know Quinn Priester is on the hill, and we talked about Quinn on the hill yesterday. Hard thrower. He's put on some weight, good weight onto his body. He's very excited about this opportunity to start on Thursday in Colorado, making his Brewer debut on the hill as the Brewers try to go for the sweep. Let's talk about Ryan Feltner, the Rockies pitcher. The Rockies are 2-9. Ryan Feltner, strikeout pitcher, hasn't gone deep in either game that he's pitched so far this year. He was 3-10 last year. 3-10, but this year a 3.60 earned run average. Again, a guy who's got the ability, if you get it in an early rhythm, he could be very good. He's got that capability to be very good, but he can be had. There's no question about it. He certainly can be had, and hopefully the Brewers can have him and keep this thing going, man. Exciting days right now in the early part of the season for the Milwaukee Brewers because they're winning games, and it's been fun watching, especially the last 4 games with the way this offense is catching fire, watching Terang and guys like Sal Frelick and now Contreras and others are starting to pick it up a little bit. And then there's Jackson Chourio, who's playing like an MVP. But let's not put that pressure on him just yet. All right. We'll see you after the game tomorrow, everybody. A little bit later on Thursday afternoon, Thursday night, we'll be dropping a podcast talking about hopefully a 3-game sweep in Colorado. How about that? Thanks for joining me on Locked On Brewers. Again, you get us on Google, Spotify, Apple, or wherever you download your audio platform. #1 Brewer podcast on the internet because of you great Brewer fans out there. Please go to our growing YouTube page, search Locked On Brewers, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell that alert you every time we drop an episode on Locked On Brewers. Have yourself a great Thursday, everybody. Go Brewers. This is Chuck Freeman on Locked On Brewers.